Belize, Central America, to escape the dense jungle above ground and following the course of a subterranean river.
This whole cave system just runs straight through these limestone cliffs. You know, these things can go on for miles and miles.
Belize is home to the longest cave system in South America. The limestone landscape has been eroded into a labyrinth of narrow passages and dark tunnels.
There's actually quite a good flow of water pushing me along through here. But all of this stuff is razor sharp. And especially around my legs, it's like loads of jagged rocks to stumble over.
Prolonged immersion in water makes skin swell. It becomes softer and easier to cut. In this environment, small cuts soon become infected.
One of the big dangers of places like this is just rising water levels. And it's right bang in the middle of the rainy season at the moment. And water can rise literally a few feet in a matter of hours. In a place like this, that's a few feet that I don't really have.
I'm being funneled by the flow of the swollen river into narrower tunnels, where the water level leaves me no room for manoeuvre.
It's starting to get very, very tight here. Hang on. Look, there is still light through there.
That sunlight means there must be an exit not far away. I've just got to go for it.
Okay, just follow me in. Okay, go.
The rains have filled this cave to the roof, and there's nowhere to surface for air. But there's light dead ahead. That's what I've got to aim for.
That's us out of that cave and on our way. Whew.
Heading underground is always a risky strategy, but this time it's worked. I've made good progress. And down here, the jungle is thinner and easier going. It's good to be back on dry ground, especially when there's a chance of finding food.
One thing there's no shortage of in this jungle are these cahoon palms. And look, if you get a young one like this, take the younger sprout, follow it down, you can get to the heart of palm. And all you do is gently pull it out. There you go. And that's what you're trying to get to, that white, edible bit on the end. And it's a bit like eating dry, sweet cardboard. It's a good jungle snack on the way.
But there are other things to watch out for here that are not so good for your health.
And these jungles in Belize have something like 8 different types of potentially lethal snakes, including the fer de lance, which grow up to 8 foot long, and they're particularly aggressive snakes. And then if that's not bad enough, this place also has one of the highest population of jaguars of anywhere in the world. So you don't want to rush stuff. Keep your eyes open and keep your senses aware.
But knowing your environment always improves your survival chances, and the jungle is no exception.
Check this tree out. Yeah, this is a bullhorn acacia. And look, it not only has all of these spikes on it, but it also, I don't know if you can see, has all of these ants that live inside of the spikes. And if you mess with the tree, all of these ants will come out to try and protect it, and they'll start biting you.
The ants are a strong deterrent, but they're not going to stop me getting to the bark.
What the bark has is some properties in it that is going to slow your heart rate. And these ants do bite. So if you get bitten by a snake, it's going to slow the speed that the venom goes around your body. Let's take a couple more strips of this, just in case I come a cropper with a snake.
Jungle remedies can be useful, but it's best to avoid getting bitten in the first place, so be on the lookout.
Come in, come close. Nice and steady. We've got a serious, proper sized snake here. Okay, no closer, no closer. See him? And that is a big boa constrictor. He's not like me being this close. And this guy is gonna feed off small mammals, rats, rodents, monkeys, and he is a formidable predator. Constrictor, if he gets round you, he's gonna try and wrap around and just squeeze the life out of what he's after.
I'm going to avoid the head and try to get hold of it by the tail.
There we go. Well, they always say that snakes don't brush their teeth. And you can not only smell it from here, but if it got hold of you, even if the bite didn't kill you, it's gonna get infected. And that's how you end up in a lot of trouble.
But there's a lot of meat on this snake. I'm gonna take the risk.
This is one shot you want to get right.
It's dead, but with snakes, you can't afford to take any risks.
The only way you can really be certain is just to go through that spinal column. And that is a good length of snake. And it's gonna be good dinner. But man, my heart is thumping.
I want to gut the snake immediately to prevent any of the meat becoming infected.
And then once you're through it all, you can then start taking the guts out.
The snake's guts contain half-digested food, feces and parasites.
And in a big boa constrictor, there is a lot of guts.
The boa's digestive system can make up 1/3 of its body weight, and that's weight I don't want to be carrying.
Okay, let's get moving. This is where you don't want to bump into his big brother.
It's 4 o'clock. I've got 2 hours daylight left. It's time to call it a day and set up camp.
Actually, this wouldn't be a bad place just to set up camp. And it's so important to leave yourself enough time when you're in the jungle. Once that light goes, it gets dark so fast. You do not want to be here with no shelter when it's night time. And look, I've got some good upright trees here. And the most important thing is to make sure you build your shelter up off the jungle floor. You know, this is where all the life of the jungle is, with ants, snakes, you name it. So I reckon I'll build a bit of a platform here.
Light but strong, these kahuna palms make a great frame for the shelter.
And then just clear all of these leaves off it.
Kahuna palm grows all over Belize. In the past, it was a favourite building material of the Maya.
And that's going to be about the right height for the bed platform. And then just use this moho bark.
Moho bark is also plentiful here, long, supple and very strong.
It just helps if you twist this bark as you wrap it, just adds strength to it. It's already getting a bit dark, actually. Trying to do anything at the night time in the jungle is just impossible. It is black as a witch's cauldron.
There's no time to lose, so I'm using more moho bark to weave my bed.
I want to make sure the weave of this is close together so your weight doesn't rip this thing, which is not what you want.
My bed is strong, now to make it comfortable by splitting these palm leaves for bedding.
And you just lay them one way and then the other the opposite way.
And as it's a rainy season, I'm going to need a roof.
Okay, that's going to be the cross strat for the roofing. And I just need to find some bay leaf palm to go on that. It's also actually called thatching palm. And the reason is, it works perfectly as thatching for a shelter. It's what the Mayans would have traditionally used to thatch their buildings with.
There's no time to weave these leaves together, but this should be okay for the night.
Just check this works all right. And yeah, that's pretty good. Let's finish off the thatching and then get a fire going.
Fire is crucial. I can cook, dry clothes, and it will keep predators away.
Some of this dead inner stem from the cahoon palm should take a spark. There we go.
Everything's damp here, so this fire requires special attention.
And yeah, good fire making is all about looking after the fire when it's little. If you do that, it'll then look after you when it grows big.
I'm using the resinous Caribbean pine that I collected before coming down into the jungle. And it's finally working.
Let's get this snake cooked up.
I'm going to roast the boa meat skewered on green sticks so they don't burn.
I once heard a story about a guy who fell asleep in his jungle shelter and he had his arm hanging down from the bed platform. And he woke up in the morning with a really numb arm and looked down, and a boa constrictor during the night actually swallowed all of his arm all the way up to the shoulder. And when they eventually killed the snake and peeled it off him, the stomach juices had actually started to digest the man's fingers. And I always used to think that was a bit of a jungle myth of a story. But when you come across a boa constrictor as big as I have today, you do start to wonder.
It's been cooking for 35 minutes. The flesh has turned white. It's ready to eat.
And actually, when you get down to the skeleton, it's actually quite bony. It's a bit like jungle spare ribs.
As darkness falls, the forest takes on a new face. Now the predators become active.
That's not just the snakes you need to worry about out here. One of the big dangers actually is vampire bats. And they can suck your blood from you as you sleep without you even knowing about it. And the bit they're most likely to go for is just the tips of your fingers.
In my next challenge, the rains are back, and this jungle is testing me to the limit.
Man, my forearms are burning on that.